Okie dokie, so let's do a little bit of a news of the day type thing, and while we're waiting to see if Josh Hosang is sitting out at the behest of Lou Lamoriello waiting for a trade that's going to happen or not, while we wait to see what's going to happen there, apparently Jessie Puljujarvi started to attract interest because he has 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points in 8 games played so far in Europe. A grain of salt on this one, I think. I don't know. And again, if a guy's playing well in a European league, good for him. I don't know how much it'll increase his stock, especially after 8 games. So we'll see what happens. Once we get, I would say by about the end of October, there's going to be a team that looks at their lineup and says, you know what, we need a little infusion of either youth or talent, a guy who might be able to score some points, and that's when the Oilers' phone will likely ring with an offer that might be worthwhile. Logan Brown's agent kind of going off a little bit today about how he feels that his client hasn't been treated very well by the Ottawa Senators since being drafted by them in the first round in 2016. This is one of those things where, when an agent's talking, your first question is he just talking for himself or is he talking for his client? And the interesting thing to me is that he says, well, the Senators are saying all the right things, but... Okay, well, just say the Senators are saying all the right things, and that's where I would stop it. So we'll see what happens here. I honestly think this. The Senators are going to have a very long season. If you can give Logan Brown a year in the AHL to really dominate, put up a ton of points, and then come in next year, and you envision that next season Ottawa's going to be more competitive, do that. Makes a whole lot more sense than having him in the lineup this year if you think the team's going to struggle and it could be a disaster. Sometimes you're better off holding a player out of the lineup for that extra year. And, an agent can complain as well, because remember, that means that when Logan Brown's contract is up, he'd have probably less money coming his way. So there are reasons why an agent might complain that a player might not. Coming out of last night's Dallas game, 2 injuries I'm going to talk about first. Dickinson's out at least a week. That came from Coach Jim Montgomery. He also stated that Blake Comeau will be out longer. So Dallas's depth is already being tested. And we'll see where things go from here. And obviously these weren't the injuries that got all the attention from last night. There was one that got more attention, but I'm going to come back to that because there's something going on with that right now that I don't like. Erik Karlsson, congratulations on the birth of your daughter and all that wonderful stuff. I don't think he would, but you never know. But anyways, yeah, so Erik Karlsson's personal matter was that his wife had a daughter, and awesome news, amazing news, and good. Considering some of the drama around Karlsson over the last year and a half, the birth of his daughter is fantastic news. Dylan Larkin's in a non-contact jersey in practice, but he assures reporters when asked that he will be in the lineup tomorrow. So he intends to play tomorrow, but he's in a non-contact jersey in practice. I'm on the fence with this. If he's still in a position where he can't take a check right now, probably shouldn't play tomorrow, but that's me. Considering the amount of money and the amount of interest that Detroit has invested in this kid, if he's not good to go, they won't let him play. So we'll see what happens tomorrow for the Detroit Red Wings and Dylan Larkin. Henrik Lundqvist hit a milestone last night with win number 450. And, he is now the number 1 goaltender in career wins in the National Hockey League. That's active, right? Active wins leaders. And it does feel like he's winding down his career. So it's nice to see him hit 450. Will he hit 500? That's a question I ask you fine people. Does Lundqvist eventually hit 500? Or will he be out of the league before he hits 500? And the final thing I wanted to talk about is, so last night, Roman Polak goes down with an injury that we can say that it looks like he's going to make a full recovery, and we're not sure of the timeline when he's going to return, but he'll be okay. Jack Edwards, in watching the play on NESN Boston, the Boston feed, stated that it was kind of self-inflicted in that Polak was going in to deliver a hit on Wagner, missed Wagner, and then drove himself into the boards, shoulder first, then his head. And he said something along the lines of it's karma. This is kind of a karma thing. Now Jack routinely says things, and you know, I defend Jack in his how do I put this? Of all of the broadcasts that I watch, yes, Jack Edwards might be one of the most polarizing, probably one of the most biased. All right, I will admit, I watch games, I hear him and Andy Brickley, and there are times where I'll see a penalty call and the Bruins will go, "There's nothing there," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, the guy's bleeding all over the ice. There's definitely something there," or vice versa, where a Bruin will get a call and they'll go, "Oh, that shouldn't have been called. That's ridiculous." And then you see the replay, and they'll say again, "All right, that shouldn't have been a penalty." And it's like, what game are you watching? That's a penalty. So I get it. I think Jack Edwards used a really poor choice of words last night. That being said, I did see some comments on his Twitter today from it looks like fans of Dallas. They had Dallas Stars avatars as their picture on Twitter. Just really hateful, horrible things. You know, I understand people get mad, but this is something I've talked about recently. Just the whole rage culture thing. Just I don't understand it. I don't get it. And I don't know that anything will happen with Jack Edwards. I don't know that Nesson will look at this and say anything regarding this. I would imagine Edwards will apologize. I would be very surprised if Edwards doesn't apologize. Because while, yes, Edwards is totally a Bruins booster and he loves Boston and it's all Boston, everything all the time, I really don't think he wishes any ill or any injury on other players. I may be wrong. Maybe he sits there and he secretly cheers when certain players get hurt, but he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. Bruins fan, absolutely 110%. The thing is, of course, then people take shots at Boston, the city, and the people from Boston, and then it turns into, well, Philly's worse. No, New York's worse. At least we're not LA. Well, who mentioned LA? Well, hey, at least I'm not in Arkansas. Why are you bringing up Arkansas? We don't have a hockey team. You know, at some point on the internet, we're all going to have to sit down and say, you know, we all kind of suck. We all have our moments. And geography doesn't mean that people are necessarily better or worse than others. It is unfortunate, and I'm not defending his words. So if people say, well, he's defending Jack Edwards. No, I'm not. That was absolutely the wrong way to put it. There have been times. There was a video I did recently where I'm talking, I'm doing news of the day kind of thing, and I said something, and then I thought about it, stopped the video, and I started over because I thought, no, that came out completely wrong. You can't do that in a live broadcast. There are also times where I will say something in a News of the Day video or when I'm doing a video on a player's career or whatever, and people will take offense with something I said, and I'm thinking, I didn't even know I said that. Or I'll go back and look at it and go, well, they took that out of context. So in this instance, here's how I read it. And here's how I would say it as an announcer would be along the lines of Polak was going in to deliver a hit. You know, this looks to be a serious injury. We got to do something about the hitting into the boards. There is definitely some issues here. I hope Polak's in good shape. The replay shows this as kind of a scary hit. I'm glad that Wagner didn't get hurt in this hit as well. That kind of thing. Like, staying out of the... Because what happens is when you use a word karma, people are like, oh, he's saying he deserved it. I can't see Jack doing that. And this is when people are going to be like, you don't know what you're talking about. But, yeah, it's unfortunate. And it is very easy to live when you're saying stuff and you don't work with a script. And I don't work with a script. It's very easy to say something that you look back on later and you go, well, that's not how I meant that. Oh, internet. So, if you're thinking about threatening Jack Edwards, don't. Because two wrongs don't make a right. No matter what Homer Simpson tells you, two wrongs don't make a right. That's not a thing. So there you go. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below regarding this instance. And again, if let's just say Nesson came out and said, "Oh, well, we've let Jack go. He's gone." There's a slippery slope to that as well. There is. Because then it's okay, well, we got rid of him. Well, we really don't like Pierre Maguire either, and then people are looking for a reason to get rid of him. And that's the thing. And if people are like, "Oh, well, that would be fine." But it's not though, because you're getting into a situation where if you don't like something, you can get rid of it. If you don't like somebody, you can get them fired, and that's what I don't want to see. So something happens with Jack from this, that's fine, but I don't want to see it turn into something where people in media and on television are just losing their jobs just because people are like, yeah, well, we don't really like this guy, so we're going to find a reason to get rid of him. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, as always. And again, we always try for civil discourse here as well. Doesn't always succeed, but I do my best to try to make sure there's a civil discourse on the channel. And hey, thank you guys so much for being subscribers. And if you're not subscribers, go ahead and become one. It's greatly appreciated. And thank you guys so much for watching. We're in day 3 of the NHL. We're going to have a hockey game coming up in roughly 86 minutes from when I'm finishing this video, where Philly and Chicago should be playing an amazing game in Czech, and we'll see if the fans in Prague are as excited for the start of the season as most of us are. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.